And we are back. I'm going to send this live back to Manny. We were in the discussion of allyship and bridging the gap. So I'm going to send this back to Manny, and we are going to continue the conversation. All right, you guys? Give me one sec. All right, fashion dolls, and we are back. I had to restart it over because my chat completely froze. Welcome back, you guys. We were talking about bridging the gap and allyship within the Black community. It is still a lot of work that needs to be done. Shout outs to my brother K-Tooks. Make sure you guys go and check out the K-Tooks spot. We are going to continue with this conversation. And coming up next, also, we have Stephen Littles. He's going to be joining us. So make sure you guys tune in for that.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, with my co-host, Manny. Where was I? I was talking about my experience of what happened to me when I went out shopping. And this not only happened to me, it's happened to other LGBT people, too, who also encountered the same thing going on. And I'm pretty sure Manny has had his share of racial profiling and homophobia, or what I like to call biphobia, because that does exist within the Black community as well also. And that is a thing. There was one of these reality shows, and one of the guys on the show says, well, I could be bi. And the woman said something that was very biphobic. So biphobia is a thing. It does exist. It is just like homophobia. It is just like transphobia. They all exist, and they're all affected to us as LGBT people. And they are sweeping the nation. Now, this is the first time I've ever really delved in deep and been this transparent, because I always try to be, I try to be happy and glamorous and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, when you're in pain and suffering, you got to speak up about it. But those are things that I've encountered just going out. So homophobia is sweeping the nation, and even being straight, your life is in danger too. Nobody deserves to lose their life for supporting what is right, ever. This woman had a pride flag in the front of her store, and she was on a lot.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you that straight people are even in danger for even defending us. Do you guys remember the story of the Black trans woman that was at her car? She had a fender bender, and all of this whole mob chased her into the store. Iyanla Dior, that's it. That's her name, Iyanla Dior. She went in the store for refuge, and some people got involved. If something like that happens, I'm going to need more of you to not just pull your phone out and record, but to get hands-on, get involved.
And do something.
Because this can be the end result. Do you guys remember in Texas also, there was another Black trans woman who lost her life, Malaysia Booker. And of course, the Black and Brown company is not, the Black and Blue company is not going to do anything about it. The ones that have the red lights on the top of their cars, they're not going to do anything about it. And we know why. And typically when these things happen, the majority of these trans women get dead named. The majority of these Black and brown boys and girls who went missing, and Manny talked about this. Episode 3, we talked about racism and how when people of color go missing, they never report it in the news. Barely. There's barely any coverage on it, especially the LGBT. They're not going to cover that. In my opinion, it's homophobia by tolerating people but not accepting and acknowledge them as well too. Like, everybody is human, and everybody deserves to live, walk, breathe, and exist in their truth. So allyship is not just saying, oh, I stand with the LGBT community. Your actions need to speak louder than words. So another thing, some of y'all out here are dating men or women who could be homophobic, and you're my friend. I've had situations like that happen. Some friendships are not worth saving. And what I mean by that is 9 times out of tend, if the person's significant other is homophobic or transphobic, then what does that leave the other person that's in a relationship? Someone put it on Twitter and he said this: who you date is a reflection of you. So that means if the person that you're dating doesn't like black people, what does that say about you? Where do you stand on that? We need to know. Because at the end of it, actions speak louder than words. And I need some of y'all to start showing up and showing out for the LGBT, because we will always fight the drop of a dime for anything. If it's black and we see somebody being racially profiled, we'll be right there marching beside you. But you got to do the same for us. It works both ways and not just one way. Because we're here and we exist in this world as well too. And that is a thing. So that is how we can bridge the gap and unite within the black community. It starts by educating. I'm seeing more and more people become aware of pronouns. I'm seeing more and more people become aware of the different parts of the LGBT community. And even me, as being this openly black trans woman, I'm still learning things as I go as well too. And it starts by educating. And that's why I'm thankful for the likes of people like K2, Island Yankee, my mentor, Miss Melody, my brother Scott Valentine, who was just in here. Nate, me and Nate have sometimes had conversations, and he's there firsthand to experience, because you guys know that I used to broadcast a lot on Live Me, which is like Bigo. It was a lot of homophobia and transphobia I've experienced on that app. And I left. I had a star badge and everything. I had 104K followers, one of the biggest broadcasters on there, but I left and I said, you know what? Never again will I ever go back to something like that. I wanted to upgrade my life and go for something even better. So, Manny, your thoughts on allyship and bridging the gap on what we can do?
Okay. Well, I'd like to say what you said was everything you just said was just basically perfect. But I could definitely say with the allyship, us coming together is just, just one of them things where we all can sit there, everybody be chit chatting or saying what they saying, but it's like when the real money time comes, or the real time when we really need people to be there and stand by us, sometimes the moments, they kind of scared and they be like, hesitant. But it's times where we really need people to really stand up for us in every single moment that can be, because just them doing that, it can really make a big difference and a big change for us and how we can progress this future, to become something together or as one. That's something I talk about all the time, is us coming together. And, it's just, I still, even after we do our podcast, I'll still be out here asking people, do you see the future, better or brighter or, different than what you see today? And a lot of people would just be like, no, but like, I really see something different. And I feel it myself that, me, standing out as a bisexual man, like and I'm gonna just be honest with this. I was really hesitant to even post my retirement letter, even on Instagram. And I just posted it on, X. And for some reason, it was just like, I don't know, I was just kind of feeling somewhere like maybe the people on Instagram, that may know about me or may know about anything that I do, they may be ready for some type of information like that, but they may not. And to come to find out the feedback I got, not just from, my own community, but just from regular straight people or whatnot around me, it was a mix. I got some bad feedback, I got some good feedback, but, most of it was, good. Like, we can't wait to see you follow your journey, and whatever you got coming after this, we still gonna be here watching, so that's something that, a connectivity between the groups when it comes to homophobia and stuff. Um, I think the stereotype that comes with, and I would guess in a straight person's mind, the stereotype of looking at a gay person or a straight, I mean, of a bisexual person or even a lesbian, it can come off really, um, I ain't gonna really say awkward, but like it just the way it comes off, it just kind of throws things a little. It gets a little weird, to the point that most of them people will try to like stay back, um, but there's really no guidance or really nobody leading or taking control of the situation, and that's why I really want to step in and like really make that link in between the lines and basically show like, this is what it can really be, no matter who you are. These categories we sit here and we put on top of each other, these are the things that continue to make us divide amongst each other and stuff when, we all are the same thing. It's just we all may just feel differently about who we are. Um, and once people can really come to an understanding that that's okay. And, that should not be something to be so concerned or worry about when there's way more bigger things to be more concerned or worry about. I think once we can come to that grasp of that connectivity of just not just we are just humans, but we are who we say we are. And when we do that, that should bring, a nice, big picture together where everybody like, okay, let's finally do this. Let's sit down and actually have a mature conversation about this and make this happen. Because, for us, we are really tired. Like you said it over and over, we are tired. And it's just like, how many more times or how many more situations or incidents or a person who went from being a straight person or lesbian or bisexual and turned into a transsexual or whatnot and wanted to become something better than what people saw them as. It's something that we all have to sit there and really understand. But I guess it takes one to know one, to really show that next person, this is what this can really be. Just don't be so afraid of what the possibilities that's out there can really turn into. So I would
Yes.
say that.
Let me read some of you guys' comments. Alan Yankee says, my question is, who is going to save the hero after they save the world?
Mm,
Hmm. I mean, I guess
mm,
depending on perception, and this is from Jess Tevin. Let me see. Because I have friends, and a large majority of people I come across don't really care that I'm gay. Right, and they shouldn't. Your sexuality or preference or whatever you like, love. We're not gonna say preference because sometimes preferences are often rooted in bigotry. And I said that
mm,
when we did our racism episode. Whatever a person likes, if they're like men, women, whatever, it shouldn't matter. What should matter is what's in a person's heart. I don't look at skin color or a person's sexuality or sexual orientation. I look at what's in their heart, their character. That's judging people. You're
mm,
judging someone. Listen, when you're judging a book by its, the old adage, don't judge a book by its cover. You're judging
yeah.
people before you can even sit down and have a conversation with them. It's always a misconception. That's the key thing. It's a misconception. And that's where that has to stop. And it stops by I'm going to tell y'all a little story about how I met my friend Felicia. She always
Mm,
comes in and she watches the show from time to time. You guys know. That's my sis. That's my girl. So, okay. We both went to school together. And she was sitting at a table by herself. I was sitting with a group of people as well too, and I went over there and I sat with her, and I just
mm,
started. At the time, it was what, Teen Pop magazines, Teen Beat, where you could have the little pull-out posters, and I started just chatting with her, and we became friends ever since then. So I said, "Oh, she seems standoffish." In the back of my mind, I'm like, "Ooh, she seems kind of standoffish," and ever since then, I'm just like, "We're gonna become friends." So I'm gonna go break the
mm,
ice. I was the person who broke the ice, and we started talking about celebrities. And at the time, you guys know that I love Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not the current season, but the past seasons. You guys know that I'm a big Nene Leakes fan. So at the time, we would just be talking about housewives and pop culture, and we just clicked and became friends ever since then. Now, that's my sister, that's my girl. And she always calls me before coming on and doing an interview, or whether it's with tête-à-tête with Manny, she always calls me or texts me. Like today, she said, "What you doing, girl?" I said, "Nothing much, just preparing for today's interviews and stuff." She said, "Girl, I'm getting my hair done." So, ever since then, I knew automatically that we would be sisters. And every episode, every interview, I tell you not. That's why I tell you, don't judge people by what you think you know about them. Sit down and have a conversation with them. Because I thought this was me, my mistake, thinking that she was going to be standoffish. And she is just the sweetest person. I mean, we both have a soul connection. We have a lot in common. And we are both women who are about our business. She works. I'm here doing Style by Steve with you guys and tête-à-tête with my co-host Manny. So it's crazy how people in this world in society see people just by looking at a picture of them, or just by, them could be standing across the room and they just be like, ooh. No, take the time, sit down and have a conversation with a person. That's where misconception is in the Black community. You assume what you know, and we don't know squat. So sit down and have a conversation with the person before judging. That's where I'm getting with that. That's misconception. So yes, we have a lot to fix within the Black community, and it starts at home by having a conversation. And so the parents out here that try to shield their children, yes, what about the children? What about the children? I'm going to say this again because I said this the last time when we had a discussion on Just Hilarious. Let your children decide who they want to be. Let them walk in tune with their own sexual preference. If they want to be with a man or a woman, let them decide. You don't shove that down their throat or force them, because y'all still feel that it's a gay agenda, and it's not a gay agenda. So let's debunk that right now. As sad as it is, the bridge will never happen. Certain people would rather jump in the river knowing they can't swim, but rather drown than connect. Right? They're still stuck in that mindset and that Stone Age. And I'm gonna give you an example. Eamon Joseph, you guys know him as Jerome on Snowfall. I did an interview with him on Style by Stevie back in 2021. He says Black people, we are still stuck in that Stone Age. Some of us are stuck in that Stone Age. We don't want to learn. We don't want to succeed. We was talking about historically Black college and universities and how he got his start into acting. And he was just saying, don't be afraid to go after your dreams, your passions, your goals. Break that stigma. Break what is out there within the Black community. We have to unlearn. We have to unpack. Those were some of his words that he said in that interview. Because we do have a lot to unlearn and unpack. And it starts by education. Now, what Alan Yankee said also is true. That is true. You have some people that are stuck in that age where it's just like, okay, I'm not willing to move forward. I'm not willing to learn. And it's just like, yeah, the world is changing. We're not going to be the same. We're not going to stay stuck in the Stone Age. There are this is the new generation. This is what we call Gen Z, Gen X. So it's a whole new generation. It's not the way you used to do things. So yeah, times are changing. The world is changing and evolving. And before you know it, I can predict, because Manny told me something about, manifesting and thinking about the future. I predicted and it might seem kind of crazy and corny at the same time, but I predicted they're probably going to be flying cars. And I say that because we already got touchscreen phones. We already got touchscreen. We already got touchscreen computers. What else is going to be next? So that's what I predict is going to be. Flying cars that can fly. We already got cars that can drive themselves on autopilot. So what's going to be next? So times are changing. Things are changing. We as people need to reset in order to restart. And let me tell you, it starts at home. So to the parents out here that are shielding their children away from homosexuality, like, don't watch that. Don't watch that. No. Children know more than they think you know. Even when you tell them not to touch something, what are they going to do? They're going to touch it anyway. You tell them don't put your hand on the stove, they're going to try to touch it anyway. So You can't shield your children from homosexuality. You have to let them know that there's people in the world that are going to be different. They're not going to be like you. Same, different skin color, different hair texture, everything. God didn't want us to all be the same. And that's what's so
Exactly.
unique about this world is that I don't want to just color with all the crayons that are all the same color. I want my own color. And I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to be the brightest color in that box. And that's to anybody. Just Tevin says that, oh, there's flying cars already. Well,
Yeah, they do got flying
um,
cars.
just
Yeah.
not mainstream.
No.
We already got cars that can drive themselves and
Yeah.
go in autopilot. I mean, Tesla is one of the most popular cars. I mean, almost everybody got a Tesla. So, I mean, things are changing, times are changing, and you
Yeah.
have to change with the times. And that's what I've learned being in the fashion world is that looks change. They don't stay the same. So with me, you're going to get different looks. You're going to get different hair colors. I don't like to be a one trick pony. I like to be a unicorn with different facets to her. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. So just like fashion evolves, because I try to stay ahead of the curve of what's going on in the fashion world and what's going on the runway, I try to give you that on this show. Beautiful skin, and Miss Stevie, know I love beautiful skin. That was for you, man. That's a Smiling Yankee.
No, thank you.
So those are just a few ways that we can bridge the gap. I just wanted to get all of that off my chest because I know it's been heavy on all of us. You guys have been seeing the story of people who are allies to us in the LGBT community lose their lives. And
Mm.
it's sad. Nobody should deserve to lose their life because they're supporting someone who's not doing anything to you, but just living and exuding and walking and breathing their truth. And when you
Mm-hmm.
learn to walk and breathe and exist in your truth, it's a beautiful thing. And that would be my advice to any parent out here who is struggling to come to terms with their child's sexuality. Because I know parents, Manny shocked me when he says my father watched our show. I said, oh my God, oh. So parents do watch this platform. And to the parents
Mm-hmm.
out here that are watching, whether it's on your phone, tablet, laptop, or whatever, we want you to know that it's okay to accept everything. Your kid is going to be perfectly fine. Just let them find their own identity and embrace
Mm.
their own individuality. And that's unique. I have it's six of us. I have two sisters. One of my sisters passed. Today would have been the day we laid her to rest. I just looked at
Mm.
the
I'm sorry
memorial.
to hear that.
So yeah, it's difficult, but I'm still thriving because I know she's looking down on me. I have a sister
Mm.
in New York. I have one brother in North Carolina. One is in Charleston. One is in New York. So four brothers, and I have two sisters. So I think altogether it's like what, seven of us. So that is key. And can you believe who was the one that was the most creative and the most outspoken out of the bunch? Yeah, me and my brother look alike, but you already know who comes along with that. It will
Yeah.
be the most outspoken, the most creative one, the one that dared to be different, the one that wanted to live life on her own terms. So let your child live life on their own terms and find their own identity. Let them
Yes.
find out who they are. And don't try to do a little bootsy or uh, blue face and bring strippers or a prostitute to take the innocence of your son. Let them find their own identity. Because individuality is a beautiful thing. Miss Stevie is a safe one. Call and I'm destroying shit. Yes. If it's not our Yankee, it's K2s. They will fight for me. They don't play. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a woman. I don't need to be getting involved in it because you don't do it. Knowing how the industry is, it's good to have men around you. And I'm pretty sure Manny would do the same because I would do the same thing. So it pays to have men behind you. And yes, I mean, from time to time, I defend myself, but I'm just like, you know what? That was the old Miss Stevie. I'm about to be 30. The old Miss Stevie back in the day, if Nate
Yeah.
is here, let him tell you, I would be quick. Yeah. I wasn't all as angelic and as beautiful as you guys think I am. I would be, again, I'm a Scorpio, so I'll be ready to tap into that side. I'll be ready. I'm going to run you around that corner. I'm going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm sort of figured out a way that the bigger I grow, I can't do things the way I used to. And with growth comes maturity. And I'm just like, I don't respond to certain things. I'm gonna let Island Yankee or one of the guys get to it, even if I don't see the comment. If someone comments or says something bad or something like that, it pays in the LGBTQ community. That's what we need. Is especially is for my trans sisters out here. Is some of our brothers that are in the community also too protecting us and backing us. And like Nate said, some of the butch queens and black men that are in the LGBT community would not do that for trans black women. It's a division between trans women that are in the community and black men that are in the community as well too. And I see the division. Luckily, I haven't had that issue because I tend to get along with everybody. I try to stay to myself and be as welcoming, as friendly as possible. But yeah, I haven't had that issue, and I hope I don't. I try to be inclusive to everybody and make sure that I give everybody their flowers and nothing but love. Because my mom, she always told me, she said, the bigger you get, you're going to fall out with people because people are going to be envious of you and your success. And that's another thing. People become envious of you and your success. So keep shining, just keep continuing to go. And that's how I continue to bridge the gap with allyship and more importantly, the black community. That's how we can unite. And it starts by having conversations like these. This is the most transparent that I have ever been in a while. Because when I'm doing my interviews, when I'm doing the main show, Style by Stevie, I always try to be as fun and as bubbly and not try to make it sad. Even if the guest if it's something that is traumatizing to the guests, I try to make the guests feel comfortable and make them feel happy. I've always been the one that wants to make people feel happy. And sometimes you got to put yourself first. I go to war for her. And I also tell her when she's wrong. Yeah. And that's another thing in our community. Be willing to tap someone on the shoulder and let them know if they are wrong, that they're wrong about something. And I've had people tap me on my shoulder and say, like, girl, what are you doing? And my friend Felicia will do it, Island Yankee, and K-Tubes. They they will call me to the front carpet and let me know. My mentor, Miss Melody, says, well, you too, she mentors me, tells me what direction I should go in. So that's why I'm so aware of everything that is going on. Because I don't think I'm not. I do pay attention to it. But I just don't because I want people to have an escape, a getaway with everything that is going on in the world, with it being so much on us mentally. There's a new variant out here. I'm pretty sure you guys heard about that. So it's something, if ain't one thing, it's another. So I try to take people away from what's going on to the news. Because sometimes I would be in the news religiously watching the news at 5 o'clock down here in South Carolina. And it's just like, I can't take it. What is something new with this case with this crazy president we have for 8 years? Something new going on in the world every day. So I just I can't take it. I have to tune out literally. So that's why I do what I do. And I'll touch on certain things on the show because I'm just like, yeah, I want people to have an escape because it's heavy on all of us. And mentally, I can be draining from time to time to tune in and watch these things on the news. It's just like, Lord, what else? We got a hurricane, we got a new variant. A woman lost her life because she was supporting. If it's not one. So my advice to people would be stay aware and stay alert to what's going on. I'd be like, need to apologize. LMA, I know she'd be rolling her eyes. I do. Again, I'm not blaming it on my zodiac sign, but sometimes we Scorpios, again, that pettiness, we do get petty. But I haven't had to tap into my petty in a while. I'm about to be 30. So the things that I used to do, a little bit about the old Miss Stevie, I'll be ready to curse somebody out. I'll be ready to fight. And I'm just like, I can't do the things that I used to do in my teens and 20s. when you were pushing 30, a big milestone happened. And it's just like, you got to do things different. So
Mm-hmm.
my approach to things is just like, keep it moving. God bless you. That's how
Yeah.
I do. So yeah, that would be my advice to anybody who is struggling to come into terms with their own and ways that we can bridge the gap within our community. Sit down and have a conversation with your parents. I know coming out can be difficult. And another thing I want to get on to, because I know I'm just rambling on and on and on.
Oh, no, you
Uh,
good. You good.
Stop outing people in 2023. I'm gonna need y'all to stop doing it. It is not your place to go out here and out someone. People lose their lives over stuff like that. There was a story where this woman caught her boyfriend with another man, and I think she unalived both of them. You guys remember? I think he was bi or something. He didn't tell her, and she broadcast the whole thing. Like, so please don't out anybody. Don't do that. She leaves the petty for me, and I enjoy getting people together, and he has behind the scenes. So I wouldn't know about it. I'd say, what did you say? What did you do? I'd let them know, give them the phone call, and they would handle it so fast. But yes, that's another thing that I'm going to need for y'all to stop doing is outing people in 2023. It is not your place to
Yeah.
tell someone's sexual preference. Again, let me stop saying it. It is not your place to say anyone's sexual orientation, whether they're bi, straight, or gay. That's their business. And it's not your place to out someone. It is dangerous because it is a state of an emergency on us as LGBT people. We lose our lives over stuff like that. So don't
Yeah.
out anybody. I'm going to need y'all to stop doing that. And some people sometimes do it out of jealousy and out of spite to be mean and hateful.
Yes.
Stop doing it in 2020. Just stop. Let people embrace who they are on their own terms. That's why DL culture exists. And that's why a lot of DL black men are not going to come out because you are outing them. They'll never be able to live and walk and exude in their truth. Not only just because of them being outed, because of some of the black straight community shuns them. And they get this on.
Yeah.
So stop outing people. I'm going to need y'all to stop doing that in 2023. Not all people do it, but some, the few that do. Stop outing, period, because it's not cool at all. So that's all I got, Fashion Dolls. It is 3:53. It is almost time for our second show for today.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting so bad that, yes, and let me touch on that real quick. Status shaming.
Mm.
I see the clips that are circulating around on Bigo, and I try not to talk too much about what's going on Bigo, but I'm going to say it. It's disgusting how our community on that app tears each other down
You're very.
over over status, y'all status shame. There's something called stigma, and we talked about this when we did our interview with Levi last week. Levi the Great. He was transparent and he opened up about being HIV positive, undetectable, and
Mm.
the backlash that comes with it. That's what he was talking about last week. So go and check out that interview if you have not. Powerful interview. He was so transparent, and I saw a different side of him. Yes, I'm gonna need y'all to stop doing that status shaming. Just because a
Mm.
person has HIV doesn't give you the right to go out here and status shame them.
Yeah.
Because there is so much stigma surrounding it. And that's why I'm thankful for the likes of my brother Kenny Stallings. He does outreach, community outreach, as well as Levi. Stop status shaming. That's not
Mm.
cool in 2023. And I see it a lot on Bigo. Y'all are disgusting over there. Y'all are disgusting. And I'm just like, our community the Black community, we have a lot of educating to do because there are people who have it and that are living and surviving it. And I can give you a prime example. The baby got up there on that Rolling Loud stage and said what he said, and is unaware how it affected people who has that.
Yeah.
So stop. Status shit. We got to come together because this was about to happen in the next few weeks. Let's be real. Oh, he's not going anywhere. You be prepared to turn on the news and see him everywhere, and y'all know who I'm talking about. The orange man that's been in the White House for 8 years. He's not going nowhere. So y'all need to be prepared to turn on your TVs and watch the circuits because they're going to try to spin. They're going to try to deny. They're going to try to do everything to defend this cult leader. I called him a cult leader. That's right, he is. Because one of his supporters just went out here and threatened somebody. It was a woman. And she got arrested. So, listen, stay aware, stay alert to what is going on. I'm telling you. Because we are living in some dangerous times. Things are about to get real. And I think Manny texted me something last week to the extent of, it's a change happening. It's a shift happening. And it is. This is literally the calm before the storm. So we're going to need all of y'all to buckle up and put y'all seatbelts on. My people, black people, be awake and alert to what's going on around you.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of work to do. And that's just the half of it. But what he's going to do is he's going to stir up some stuff. And he's not just going to go away like that. He is going to go on X. He's going to go on Truth Social. He's going to go on all of these platforms and type a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
All because he's being held accountable for what happened January 6th. And his supporters are just as dangerous as he. So I need you all to be aware and alert. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I'm going to say this and wrap up because it's almost time for the next show. It's folding chair season. And that's all I'm going to say. You take that how you want to take it. If you don't know, ask your mom. So that's all I got. Manny, any final thoughts?
I like the folded chair. But no, I would like to just say, I always think of this song pops up in my head. But that song, I just remember as a kid when they were like, we all in this together. And so, I don't know the song fully, but that song right there really sticks. And I feel like, we played that on a speaker out loud into the public every day. It would just bring us closer and together every single, time or moment where somebody just like, you know what, that is so true because, without us all together, what would this world really be like, But it's like, it takes us to be together to really make a change and a difference. And if we really want to make that happen, we just got to come together. And that would really be a great thing to see happen, just in the next 5 months, 6 months, or even 2 weeks to see something like that happen would just be amazing. To see more people opening up and becoming, more acceptance of what's really going on and not just being there, but protecting one another. That's what I would say.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And
it starts there. So we got some work to do, people. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next episode of Tête-à-Tête, episode 5. It will be Manny's day to open. And also drop the project. So Manny, let everyone know where they can follow you at because it is 4 p.m. So Stephen Little's joined next.
Okay. No, just follow me on Instagram at Manny Killer only one. Find my music at Manny Killer _ Manny Killer with the hyphen on the A for my music and everything. And check it out. You're gonna love it. Nothing but positive music, love, peace, respect. That's all I bring to the table. That's me.
All right, Fashion Dolls. Joining me up next, our next special guest was the image consultant of the Queen of Hip Hop Soul, Mary J. Blige. She's also worked alongside Queen Latifah, Boris Kodjoe, Maya, just to name a few. Stephen Littles joins me next on Style by Stevie. So make sure you guys tune in. Go refresh your drink and come back. This has been a heavy conversation, but it needed to be had. Special thanks
Yeah.
to my co-host, Manny. This is going to be an amazing
Thank
journey
you.
for both of you. I
Yeah.
can't wait for episode 5 next Tuesday.
Mhm.
You guys stay tuned.
Yeah. It was nice to see you again.
You too. Take care, everyone. See you good next.
All right. All right.
Hmm.